Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, undefeated and rising bantamweight star Jack Shore is scheduled to fight Ricky Simón this weekend at UFC Long Island. He spoke about his future plans within the UFC and where he would like to see himself by the new year. In a recent interview, Jack had this to say: "It'd be great to be top 10, you know what I mean? The goal at the beginning of this year was to, for the first fight of this year, to beat Timur Valiev, and let's push for that ranking spot. Now I've got the ranking spot, it'd be great to push up the rankings. You know, I've cracked the top 15, it'd be great to crack the top 10. Going into 2023 then, we can start looking at top 5 and onwards. You know, the fights only get tougher as we go, and just from being a fan of the sport, you tend to see the top 10 guys, they don't fight as regular, you know, because the fights are so tough. You know, you go out and give a lot to training camps, so they're only getting 1 or 2 fights a year. So it'd be nice to get a busy year. If I got to take my foot off of the gas a little bit in order to get some big fights next year, you know, maybe 1 or 2, then I'll do that. But like I said, ultimately I want to be active, and I'd love to crack that top 10. What do you guys think about Jack Shore? How will his fight this weekend go against Simón, and will we see him begin to creep into the top 5 by 2023? We've come to the end of another week, and that means one thing for UFC headquarters. Dana White tries the Chick-fil-A crunchwrap.
What's up, everybody? Friday here at UFC headquarters, and today we'll be trying the Chick-fil-A crunchwrap. Layer mac and cheese, fried chicken, and waffle fries on a tortilla. Pour a layer of Chick-fil-A sauce, fold it up and fry it like a crunch wrap. All right, everybody, here we go. Come on. You know this is a winner. Off the charts. Amazing. Incredible. But I love fried chicken, so I'm really biased. Very good.
What do you guys think about Dana's latest creation? Is this something you would try? Belal Muhammad has recently taken to Twitter to give his opinion on future big money fights in the UFC, such as Usman versus Khamzat, and why the UFC wouldn't risk their top stars against him. Belal tweets, "I'm the worst style matchup for Khamzat and Usman, and UFC knows that. Them two are obviously the biggest money fight together, so they couldn't risk me beating either one yet, but soon I'll be undeniable." Belal is currently ranked number 5 in the welterweight division, and he's on a 7-fight win streak. He's beaten big-name fighters such as Stephen Thompson, Damian Maia, Vicente Luque, and even took on number 1 contender Leon Edwards, which ended in a no contest due to an eye poke. What do you guys think about Belal's comments and track record? Will we soon see him in the number 1 contender spot, fighting against the likes of Khamzat or Usman? Left Hook Club recently posted a video of Tony Ferguson running into Sean O'Malley on the street, and they briefly discuss Khabib.
How are you, brother? How?
Make the angle pick yourself.
I know.
Couldn't recognize you.
Yeah, about it.
You were talking about Khabib, huh?
No, I said if.
Should have just keep.
Well, I said even if I subbed Khabib, the fans would still say, but what if? And they took it out of context, like I was saying I could sub him, which you never. I'm joking. But like, yeah. See you, buddy.
Big John McCarthy recently shares his views on Usman's desire to move up 2 weight classes and take on the light heavyweight champion. On the Weighing In podcast, Big John had this to say.
Usman is saying that with a win over Leon Edwards, he's going to go up to light heavyweight. What do you guys think?
John putting his hands over his face like, no. Dude, look, here's the thing. I was actually against it, right? So I'm gonna go a little bit the opposite way of what John's saying.
Good,
I was a little bit against it, but then I saw the face-off with Jan Blachowicz and him. Holy. Kamaru's only like maybe an inch shorter than him, and he looked just as thick and wide as him. Now that doesn't mean he's gonna win, but I was thinking to myself, people kept telling me that Kamaru doesn't cut a lot of weight. Shut the up, man. He looked enormous. He looked so big.
Just so you know, Kamaru won't be fighting Jan Blachowicz. He's not the champion.
That's true as well.
Oh.
Well, he might be. He might be here soon.
No.
You never know.
He's not fighting
John,
for it.
If he beats Leon Edwards, I mean, like, Dave, can you pull up the picture of I think Kamaru put it on his social media. It's a video or a picture of the two of them faced off. And Kamaru looks just as big, maybe an inch shorter than.
And angles do a whole lot for pictures.
Oh, come on,
No,
John.
stop.
Help me build this
I'm
fight.
not helping you build this fight. I don't want to see him do it. I like Kamaru Usman. I think Kamaru Usman's a phenomenal fighter. I think 170 pounds is a great weight class for him. And 205 is too big.
Robert Whittaker has recently stated that he's a bit shocked with how fast Alex Periera has risen up the UFC middleweight rankings. Pereira has only had 3 fights in the UFC, and it looks very likely that this will be enough to earn him a title shot against Adesanya. While Pereira is a great fighter and has accomplished a great deal in his first 3 fights in the UFC, a portion of his quick rise is probably due to the UFC. They know that a match between Pereira and Adesanya is one the fans will be extremely interested in, and they can promote this very heavily, turning it into a big money pay-per-view. On a recent interview with Submission Radio, Robert Whittaker had this to say about Pereira's fight against Strickland and his catapult to the top of the division.
The surprise comes from how fast Pereira's just skyrocketed through the ranks to get that title shot. But really, I think it's a good fight that's good fight to match up. You know, 2 tall dudes, striking, been there before. I think it'll be fun. I think Strickland definitely caught the wrong end of the stick there. He got caught. I don't know what the plan was for him to moving into it, so I can't talk on it whether he delivered it or not. But it happens. It happens in the game.
Well, we're talking to Luke Rockhold almost a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned how he kind of saw Pereira as a tough guy, a dangerous opponent, obviously, but also someone who 20 guys in the division could probably beat, and the UFC sort of moving him up against Israel before that happens. Do you kind of see that as well, like the UFC moving Alex along towards this title shot before he, potentially fights somebody that could capitalize on his inexperience in certain aspects of the game? Definitely.
There's a lot of different guys that'll give him a really hard fight, but it is what it is. There's no point.
Recently on his YouTube podcast, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gave us his opinion on the Volkanovski versus Max Holloway fight at UFC 276.
5 rounds. He broke his hand, broke his thumb, Volkanovski. Yeah. But he was just, in and out, explosive, hitting hard. He just looked
countering.
Great. He looked so much faster than Max for some reason. And Dad even picked up on it. Pops, he watched the fight. My dad, he's like, Max fights a little more square, right? And when you fight a little bit more square, Diaz fights that way.
High volume.
You don't
guys,
have a lot of power in your strikes, but you can throw a lot. But there's just if you look back, Max Holloway doesn't have a lot of knockouts, right?
Yeah, he just beats people
with volume. He beats guys with volume. And if you look at Volkanovski, he's more bladed. So he gets a little more power in his strikes. And even though he didn't knock him out, but he just hurt him a lot more. His strikes just definitely had a little bit more on them than what Max has had on his. And I just felt bad. I was like, I want Max to win this, man. I want him to win this. Max, you got it. But then when he went out there and the way that Volkanovski beat him was just like, man, it's like his kryptonite, man. That was just like, that's the guy.
What do you guys think? Is Volkanovski Holloway's kryptonite? And will we ever see Max regain his featherweight belt? Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, please like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.